if it's just like anything about like football, we're gonna take positions on whether it's gambling, fantasy, Arthur Smith, fantasy, like or futures bets, like pretty much anything.
Kids flag football. I think flag football's in the Olympics now, so I'll be all about that.
The Little League World Series.
Dude, I can't wait to bet USA to win flag football in the Olympics.
This never happened again.
Hey, this is We Called It. We are back in celebration of Arthur Smith being fired. Anthony, hit the beat. Arthur Smith is officially gone. Connor has been on this. He's been on this for I think since like last year. He's been chanting for him to go. So, Connor, welcome back. It's been a while. Any words of excitement to share at the moment?
Man, I did see something that was super funny though. Everyone's like super excited because they're like, "Oh, let's go get Ben Johnson, Lions offensive coordinator," and then people are going to turn right around and be super pissed when our pal Dan Campbell's going to go down and hire Arthur Smith as his replacement, and it's going to be a total just crisscross, and he's going to ruin Jahmyr Gibbs, Sam Laporta, and all of a sudden Amon-Ra St. Brown. People are just going to be super pissed, which I thought was hilarious. That's a really funny take, but man, I seriously, when it happened, I was awake at like 12 o'clock. I couldn't sleep all night. I couldn't sleep. Guys, Sunday to Monday, I was just ecstatic. Why? Because I own a lot of Bijan Robinson and Drake London in my fantasy team. So, love it.
Ken, as someone who owned a lot of Drake London, first of all, welcome back. And then second of all, are you happy to see Arthur Smith gone?
And Bijan. Yes, I'm right there with Connor. I'm super excited. I got to tell you, I just needed Bijan a few weeks ago when he scored like 0, just to score like 5. And I would have made it to the playoffs. Really frustrating. I got to say, for all the Atlanta Falcon fans, non-fantasy fans, I don't even care, about that. Hey, guys, you guys have a chance now. You guys can finally take down the Buccaneers.
Anthony, your last one to feed in.
Hey, yeah.
How do you feel?
They might actually get 10 wins now. Who knows? I mean,
in the worst division in football.
I mean, I haven't picked a guy on the Falcons on my fantasy team since like the Julio Jones days, like pre-Calvin Ridley days. So it feels good to not pick any of those guys for the last 3 years.
I was sweating bullets watching these games, this game this week, because I really think like there was even talk before the game that Arthur Blank really, really, really was seriously considering if he lost and it was close, he was seriously thinking about bringing him back. Which means that, dude, his dad has some major dirt on Arthur Blank. There is like, I mean, I don't even think that's a hot take anymore. Like it's another two fun stats for you. Just I've been so happy about this. I've been looking up stats. I'm a stat guy. Phil thinks he's a stat guy. I'm a stat guy. Bijan Robinson over under 60% of offensive carries this year for running backs in Atlanta.
He's definitely under.
All right,
we made fun of that too much.
50%.
I'm gonna go over.
I'm gonna say over.
Over, yeah.
Under. He had 47% of the carries, the total carries this year, and he had almost like 1,300 total yards or 1,400 total yards on less than 50% of the runs, which is bonkers.
Well, he was sick that one game.
And that clearly eats into his year-long numbers.
And this is just a pure stat. This is not a question. Atlanta Falcons tight ends led the league in reception yards this year.
Don't
Kyle
do this to
Pitts had like 300. It is bonkers.
Was it Ito Smith?
First off,
dude,
the disrespect to
Jonnu
Smith, man.
was tearing it up, dude.
Jonnu Smith, by all definitions that we've talked about, is an elite tight end.
Jonnu earned himself another contract by default.
Yeah.
Literally just being in the right position.
Just being the second string tight end.
Dude, it's one of those things where it's like you watch those plays for like Scotty Miller and Jonnu Smith, and you're like, why can't you do that for Kyle Pitts and Drake London? You have one move. Like it's feed the guys that don't matter.
Scotty Miller is a Bowling Green alumni.
Yeah. So segueing into somebody that we will talk about, which is the Cowboys. They actually, and I don't like McCarthy. We all know this too. He actually found a way and said, you know what? I'm going to do what smart people do, and I'm going to scheme to get CeeDee Lamb the ball, and he exploded. Think of a team that has 3 CeeDee Lambs and trying to scheme, like, literally feed them off of each other. What could you do? That is insane.
You know,
he
the answer to that better runs.
No,
he schemed better runs for Desmond Ridder than he did Bijan Robinson.
No, listen, when you have all that talent, you know who gets open really easy? Scotty Miller. Yeah. Get him the ball.
Fine.
He's quick.
Man.
Oh, okay.
They have everyone else, and then you can say, hey, man, we're going to run a 2-man route on this, and you guys are actually just going to have to be really good. Oh, you are? Okay. We're just going to throw it up because you're 6'4" and 6'6". Here you go. That'll work 50% of the time. I'll bet 50.
Dude, that was all Kyle Pitts' plays where it's like, hey, nowhere to go. I'm just going to chuck the ball 30 yards to got in tight coverage, and he just mosses people. Like, all right. So let's just, before we move on, let's talk about what happened. Arthur Smith's last moment as an NFL coach was, first of all, getting blown out 48-17, but it was 41, and then Jameis Winston did us a favor and handed the ball off on the 1-yard line. And it's because Tyrann Mathieu was showboating and got tackled instead of scoring a touchdown. Dude, there is nothing better than Arthur Smith's last moment being yelling at Dennis Allen. All right, so, Connor, how'd you feel? What'd you think about what happened?
As crazy as it sounds, like, both things can be right. Dennis Allen can be upset. Arthur Smith can be upset, even though how hilarious it was. Whatever. But if he takes 2 steps back and isn't a guy on the hot seat and goes, oh, okay. And then the head coach comes out and says, I didn't call that play. I'm sorry. And Jameis Winston and the entire team goes, that was all us. That was not Dennis Allen. Then you can go, oh, okay. But Arthur Smith literally knew that was the end of him. And by the way, because he in his head, he was like, yo, if it was 41-17, I bet I have my job. It's 48 now, Dennis. And then all of a sudden, he exploded and went nuclear. So, yeah, I'm going to go ahead and say that the 41 probably had more than to do with the firing than the 38. So,
given that it was 17-17 and Falcons actually looked like a legit team for a little bit.
Okay, first off,
I'm telling you.
All right. How many times does a coach call a play, victory formation, and watches his team score a touchdown? First off, sorry, that's disrespect for Dennis Allen. And also, Jameis doesn't care. Oh my God, I love that interview. He goes, who cares? He was down on the 1. If he would have scored, is it a big deal? No, we're doing that. We're going to get that. It's just clearly a guy who's like, listen, I'm not going to be here next year. It does not matter. Dennis out. Great guy. I could care less what he says. So it's a team effort. No, Jameis, you called that. I don't want to hear as the whole offense.
Well, that's what he said too. And everyone's like, well, is that like a really big slight if your whole offensive like team in that huddle goes, screw the head coach. Let's get him a touchdown.
Dude, I'm telling you, that's what I'm saying. Look at this in a vacuum and like after the game, and everyone just like looks at it and goes, you know what, that was actually like kind of funny. And also, like, what can you do? Even if it's Jameis convincing those guys, they're all like, yeah, we did that. What are you gonna do? You're gonna say, hey man,
play till the last snap. That's what you can do.
Yeah, Arthur Smith, I'm sorry, doesn't have a leg to stand on. Dude, guess what? If they score a touchdown and you let them score a touchdown, then that's just what happened. Who cares, man?
I will say, big shout out to Jamal Williams, who led the league in touchdowns or nearly did last year, and waited to the last play of the regular season to get his first touchdown of the year.
I don't know what Arthur Smith's going to do after this job, but I'm going to guess it's like somewhere at like FedEx or whatever.
10,000% car salesman.
I want to be in the room of the guy interviewing him. Dude, that was hilarious what Jameis did on that last play. Like, come on. Now that we're looking back on it, that was pretty funny, right? We could all laugh about it.
If he's a car salesman, it is clearly like Buick or Ford. It's definitely not Ferrari or anything high-end.
It's the used car lot. Like the It's not one of those places that gives you a free cup of coffee, you know? It's shady.
Mercedes-Benz, why would you want that? It goes too fast and too quick. It's too elusive.
The ironic part of that is he will think that he is going to walk into any of those car places and be like, I'm good enough to get a job here. And then they're not going to be like, hey, man, didn't you just literally make an offense that A.J. Brown and Derrick Henry carried you to a 3-year stint as the head coach? No, I deserve that. Okay.
Daddy said so. Daddy said you deserved that.
Okay.
I would say good news. He has that family money, man. He doesn't need a job next year.
The only other thing that I could think of was Blank didn't want to buy him out. I'm sure his buyout was like 10, 20 million or whatever. Okay.
Well, if he's 3 years in, there's no way that his contract could have been much more.
Couldn't have been.
All right, so let's go on then to the other coach firing, Mike Vrabel, a man we love, a guy that we constantly bet on as an underdog in big games because it works. The man shows up and plays hard. Yep. Connor, what were your thoughts on Vrabel getting fired, and where do you think he should go?
So, tying into exactly what we just talked about, though, Vrabel's offensive coordinator. You guys remember who that was?
Arthur Smith.
Uh-oh. You guys better watch out wherever he goes. He better not call that guy and be like, hey, man, you want to come to the Chargers? Oh, you want to come to the Commanders? Dude, I'm telling you, he better. There's offensive guy or defensive guys that, like, just refuse. Mike Tomlin, Mike Vrabel, apparently the Mikes, Bill Belichick, just absolutely refuse to get good offensive coordinators, and I don't know what it is. I don't know. I couldn't tell you what it is. But back to Mike Vrabel, yes, 100%. He'll get a job within 2 weeks, probably. He'll at least get 10 interviews over the next, 2 weeks.
And so what are you thinking? So right now there's Commanders, potentially Patriots, Chargers, and what's the
Dude,
Raiders?
I'll be pretty pissed if he ends up with the Patriots. I think he could end up at the Patriots. Mutual interest, but I don't know why you would want that job. There's nothing there. No talent.
I mean, there's the Patriot ties, right?
It's being a Patriot, yeah.
I say, where do we want him and where do we think he'll go? I think he'll go to the Patriots. Where do I want him? Somewhere that already has an offensive coordinator. Okay, if Todd Bowles goes, and have him go to Tampa. He's probably not because they made the playoffs, but that would be the best ideal scenario. Someone like Dave Canales runs the offense, and, you know, he can run the defense. So whatever fits that mold, Todd Bowles is going to probably get there because they made the playoffs this year. But that's the mold. Have an offensive coordinator in place. Which one of those places could it be? I don't know. Commanders only because of the enemy? I don't know.
I mean, you guys know that we're pretty biased here between me and Phil, but man, I don't know how a defensive guy doesn't want to go to the Chargers. First off, Brandon Staley, he put together really good personnel on that team. The personnel is not the issue. And, I mean, you can do a lot with it. You have Justin Herbert, Kellen Moore, good offensive coordinator. I mean, I don't see why that wouldn't be the number one desired destination. Besides, maybe you don't want to play in LA and you don't want to be, at a road game, 18 games a year.
Anthony, what do you think?
I mean, I could see Vrabel going to the Chargers, or I don't know, wait for that Jacksonville spot to open up. I think Peterson, he got lucky. I don't know how he's not out of a job yet, but New England, he's got ties there, but I mean, what ties does New England have anymore?
So I'm with Ken that I would absolutely love to see him in the Chargers. A minor thing I want before we move on from coaching is Bill Belichick to go to the Raiders as the head coach and then to bring Josh McDaniels as the OC. I think that would be absolutely hilarious.
I was told
it's a pull. It's a full comedy move.
I was telling my buddy that's a Falcons fan. I'm like, I could see if Belichick goes there, who's coming with him at OC. I'm like, he's coming in there,
dude.
But
Blank
that could
is
be a good fit.
Blank is rumored to want Belichick. That's a problem.
Then you get McDaniels with it. I mean, it's almost
that is not the guy you want for your young, talented offense. You want to try to get the next Sean McVay whiz kid kind of guy. Bobby Slovic, the OC for Houston. I wouldn't hire him, but someone like that. All right. With that, let's move on then to things that really matter. Super Bowl futures odds, because these are fun. All right. So let's start off. Who do you guys? We'll start off with your picks to actually make the Super Bowl.
I am sharp as a knife. Okay, I know what's happening. All right, I think this is the year for the Ravens, and I don't care what you say. I give their favorites. Don't care.
Boo.
Old Johnny Boy probably is probably filming all the other teams. It's going to come out in the next 2 years that he's been cheating just like his brother. And they're probably out here filming all that stuff, but they're going to win this year. Okay, I just think that's what's going to. I do think that Lamar is going to do it this year. By the way, Todd Monken took him like 8 weeks to figure it out, and then he's figured it out. So that's one. NFC.
Connor, wait. Everyone's doing AFC, and then you get your turn.
All right, whatever, dude.
Yeah, think about it. So you're ready when I call on you again.
I was ready.
Ken, what do you got for the AFC winner?
So real quick, a lot of good AFC teams all year. Ravens definitely stood out there towards the end. I mean, any struggle that they came upon, I mean, they blew right through, including Miami and the other favorite, the 49ers. But at the beginning of the year, I had Buffalo and San Fran there. So I'm going to stick with Buffalo. But, man, I mean, you can never roll out Mahomes. You can never roll out the best defense in the league. Wait, that's Cleveland Browns. Okay.
Well, I'm ruling them out because they're the Cleveland Browns.
And, of course, Baltimore.
I would also say best defense in the NFL is arguable.
Is arguably the Cleveland Browns. Yes. But I'm going to go Buffalo. They've just been on a hot streak getting in. They needed to. They lost some close games. That they definitely lost games they should have toward beginning of the year. But as soon as they got the new offensive coordinator, definitely a big change in concept. But it's worked out well. Now, yes, Josh Allen's still turning the ball over at a high clip.
He's going for the Jameis, the 30-30.
But most importantly, their defense, which they lost Matt Milano real early in the season, really started to click, and it's been a whole different group over the last 2 months here. So I do like them. I could see a lot of different teams coming out from AFC, but I'm going to go with Buffalo.
All right, so Ken, the Bills, by every advanced metric, have a worse offense under Joe Brady. The only thing they haven't done as much is Josh Allen turn the ball over. Do you think their offense is better? I'm just curious. It's actually I personally think it's better this way, but it's a real point on Twitter where analytics folks are like, no, the Bills are worse. Everyone's crazy. The results are just better. And it's like, well,
I was going to say
are better.
The wins are there.
Do you want to know why?
The wins are there. I'm going to go with that. Yeah,
the wins. But also,
Connor, go ahead.
Also, this is literally as crazy as it sounds, this is the Jameis effect. You will get less of a bad thing. We talk about this all the time. Teams that turn the ball over more, you can't lose possessions, especially in playoff games. By allowing to have a slightly more balanced offense, you get less of the explosive, crazy, insane Josh Allen plays, but you also get less of the he turned the ball over and now he has to scramble and try and make cute, insane plays. So you just said it. He's thrown less interceptions, but that's the key stat. Less turnovers.
So I am 10,000% with you guys, where it's would you rather ask Josh Allen, who we know is volatile, to make 10 plays in a game, or need one drive at the end of the game? And it's one drive at the end of the game, you can get that more reliably than 6 good to 4 bad. Anthony, with that out the way, who's your AFC pick?
I want to pick these guys. That's who I want. But I'm not going to because not picking them on this podcast has been great.
Well, it's also what Phil said not to do because I got my hand slapped.
So I am going to take. I am going to take the Buffalo Bills as well.
There you go, Anthony. Got a brain there. Good job.
I just actually no, I'm flipping it. I'm taking the Ravens.
You lost the brain there. What are you doing?
Here's the problem. We saw it last week with them against the Dolphins. Punt return touchdown. Completely flipped that game. Josh Allen, he looked a little bit better than Tua. I don't trust the Dolphins at all because Tua, he overthrows passes, and I think against a good defense with good defensive backs, you're gonna see more turnovers. But I kind of like the Ravens out of everyone if I can't pick my guys because they have a solid defense, and Lamar Jackson, that's a guy who we should be talking about with the Monken offense. He's not really turning the ball over as much. It seems like they are scheming the ball for him to not have to make super crazy plays all the time, and the defense is just coming up really well. I want to know what the Steelers' odds would have been if TJ Watt was healthy because I thought the Steelers were going to be a really good dark horse, but then when I heard Watt was out, I'm like, I think they're going to get bounced.
I probably would have taken the Steelers money line versus the Bills if Watt was healthy.
They would have forced Josh Allen to be Josh Allen again, just throw picks. Yeah.
So I'm just going to be different. I'm going to go with the Chiefs in this one. So you guys are going to think I'm crazy. I don't like the Ravens because I think their second game will be against the Browns, and I think it's the worst team for them to match up with. I think the Browns of any AFC team have the best chance of beating the Ravens. I'm not saying they're going to. I'm saying it's still like a 4 or 5 point spread, but it's unfortunate for the Ravens that as the 1 seed, your first game comes against a team that knows you the best and plays you the best of any of these. Back to the Chiefs. Well, I got Patrick Mahomes and a top 5 defense. I'm not going to lie. I kind of want to do Bills or Ravens, but you guys covered that, and I want to talk differently. So I'm hoping the Chiefs, if they can catch the ball, I think I win this. However, that is a huge if. We saw Kadarius Toney in the Super Bowl last year make one awesome play and, cough away 3 or 4 games this year already. So I'm hoping he got that all out the way. I'm all in on the Chiefs, maybe not sucking as much, I guess. So here we go, Kansas City.
Such a Swiftie.
Let's
Plus 490 to bet on Pat Mahomes and a good defense. Not a horrible bet. I'm just saying.
Also, they get the Dolphins first. They get the Dolphins first in cold weather.
That's a gimme.
I make fun of Tua.
And they have the referee staff on their side. I mean,
all right, let's go. NFC winner. Who do you guys think is going to happen? Connor, are you ready now?
I wanted to do AFC and NFC, for time's sake, but it's fine. We'll go now.
You can keep this take short,
I could do that, but that wouldn't make any sense.
It's not on brand.
It's not on brand, okay? Cowboys, book it.
You suck.
Oh, wait. Oh, am I supposed to elaborate? Hold on. Give me a second.
No, you don't have to. I just wanted to pause to make sure everyone heard you say Cowboys. Because I feel like you've been on my side a lot where we hate the Cowboys.
I hate the Cowboys, but I'm taking purely based off of what I think that they're doing right now. Hand over my chest, hand over my heart, and whatever that stupid saying is.
Scout's honor.
I said that CeeDee Lamb was probably a wide receiver 2 with a great 1 upside. I was wrong. Okay? I'm a man. I'm 30. Okay? I can admit that. However, we also talked about Arthur Smith. Not Arthur Smith. God, that guy. Hate him. McCarthy has just said, I'm rolling with my dogs, period. I am literally just going to throw the ball to my studs, period. That's what we're going to do. They don't have a run game. I'm going to funnel it through there, and Dak has been pretty solid. I'm obviously, the only hesitation here is, man, old McCarthy, he's going to probably do something in, let's call it, the last drive of the 4th quarter, and he's just probably going to screw it up. But if he doesn't do that, I think he's going to play, if he gets a big enough lead, then I think he'll be fine.
All right, Ken, who do you got for the NFC?
Well, I hate to be a front runner here, but I did call it the beginning of the year with the 49ers and the Buffalo Bills. So I'm going to stick with that, mainly because I think the Dallas Cowboys have a good team, and I just do not trust Mike McCarthy at all. I just cannot possibly bet on him to win multiple games in a row. There are definitely some dark horses I like too. But, 49ers, yes, they had an awful game against the Ravens. I really think that that's like decreasing their value, but I don't care because did you look at the PFF All-Pro team, Phil? The All-Pro.
Is it the 49ers?
They have 4. Yes, 4 starters that are from the 49ers out of 11 on that team. So yes, I think I'm in on the 49ers here.
Side note, I think there's a little PTSD from me. Like, sorry, Ken, back to me. But I think there's a little PTSD because all I kept saying when Stafford and them won it 2 years ago was Stafford can't win the big one. Stafford can't win the big one. So now I'm going to say McCarthy can win the big one. It's the hot hand theory.
So Phil, I got to change my pick here.
Correct, Phil.
All right, I got to change my pick here.
Connor said it.
Book it.
The karate chops got me. I was like, you know what? It's in. Book it.
Switch your pick right now.
San Francisco 49ers.
All right, Anthony, what do you got? Who's your pick?
So I'm taking the Lions. I like Detroit, baby. Detroit, the dark horse. No defense. They're just going to be slinging the ball with Jared Goff, running it down your throat all game. Maybe try to get some turnovers, but let's see the Lions get in there. If I wasn't going to pick them, I was going to go with my other dark horse, the Rams. I just love the...
So you want the winner of the Lions-Rams
Oh,
game,
yeah,
huh?
all day. I mean, the Rams-Lions game's an awesome story. I love every moment of it. I don't know if we're covering it, but, Stafford versus the Lions, Goff versus the Rams, and McVay. I love it. Let's see it.
I'm curious, though, since you're a big Lions guy, which surprised. I didn't know you're a big Lions guy. Old Dummy Dan over here, Dummy Dan Campbell, says, hey, I can't really do much with my, second. I'll end up at 3, whatever. Let me play my literal all-pro rookie tight end and then snap his knee and then hope that he's good and it didn't tear his ACL. Luckily, he didn't, because otherwise, can you imagine that? After watching TJ Hawkinson blow out his knee the week before, that guy was like, hey, man, we should do that. Oh, and also, the week before that, he was like, hey, we can totally beat the Cowboys in Jerry World, but I'm going to not report the guy correctly, or maybe he did, and then I'm going to hold a grudge against the refs and go for 3 times in a row from the 7.
That was insanity.
That's your guy?
That was insanity.
Let me tell you, Connor, that's the guy I want to sign up to be behind. He's the guy who doesn't
He's going to win.
He doesn't Google directions when he drives. when he puts something in the oven, he doesn't read how long to bake it for. He just pulls out that pizza when it's nice and black.
Just follow the North Star, baby. That's all you gotta do. You'll get to where you need to go. Just keep going north.
But I gotta tell you, guys, his team could be like, listen, I know we clinched, but we have 20 more games this year. My starters are playing every damn second, and they would. I gotta tell you, they line up behind that man.
If I play it for it, I'm in. I love that guy. I'm going to go to war for him. I may or may not ask when the war ends, but we're going to war.
I want to let you know, if they make the Super Bowl, Pro Bowl week, they'll be in full pads.
I remember watching an interview. He ruined a game. I don't know. It was like a month ago. I can't remember what game it was. He went for it it might have been Thanksgiving. He literally went for it on his own 20 and put him down 14. His answer when they were like, "Why'd you do that?" He's like, "Yeah, I shouldn't have done that." As far as he thinks, man, he's like, "We should do this right now."
Hey.
Well, he says, What did I say? I said we're doing it right now.
But that transparency is a lot better than Arthur Smith when you ask him or like Staley, like, no, that was the right play to, go for it on 4th and 14.
Arthur Smith, back to that dude. Man, I hate it, but I still got so many fun sound bites from him. Tyler Algier is one of the best short yardage backs in the NFL. He said that over and over. And then a reporter, I think, came out and was like, you do know that, like, yards per carry under, like, less than 5? Like, Bijan has a higher yards per carry average. Listen, man, like, it's just what I believe. All right, Arthur. Buddy, like, that's just him and Dan Campbell are, like, the same but different.
He's like
one of their players love them, the other one hates him. Like
he's like flat earthers and people that think like numbers aren't real. 2 times 2 is actually like 5 or something like that.
Proofs, mathematical proofs, man.
It's what I believe.
Yeah. All right, my NFC picks the 49ers. Sometimes when you're the best team in the NFL, you're just the best team in the NFL. And I'm really hoping for a Chiefs 49ers rematch. Ken covered it. Like, give me the Avengers as my freaking skill position.
You don't want the Ravens?
Like, it's just unstoppable.
You don't want the Ravens 49ers rematch somehow for Jim Harbaugh to step in the 49ers and get...
All right, so let's go. Who's winning? Connor, Ravens, Cowboys.
Ravens.
All right, Ken?
Ravens.
Bills, Niners.
Just kidding.
Huh.
Ravenclaw!
Give me the 49ers.
Anthony, Bills,
Lions. No, I had the Ravens. I took both of them. It doesn't matter who the Lions are playing. They own the AFC. The last time they played the Ravens was a fluke. They're destroying the Ravens.
All right, I got Brock Purdy proven that he is a superstar and winning Super Bowl MVP.
Oh man, why in the world did you just say that?
Hold on,
dude.
No.
I'm messing around.
Debo is winning Super Bowl MVP.
Wild take.
I would love
wild take that's been taken before, but I want to see the Cowboys play the Niners at some point in the playoffs, and for Dak to go down, and we see the revenge of Trey Lance. Hell yeah, give me that. I love all the revenge games.
Dude, Cooper Rush is going in if Dak gets hurt, man.
All right, let's go on then. Underdog picks for the Super Bowl. Man, I don't know if we'll ever get to the actual picks for the games, but who cares about those? Connor, wild card picks. Who you got from the AFC?
Giving the people what they want. Entertainment, Bill.
Everyone wants a 3.5 hour show.
You're gonna cut it up anyways. Chill out.
You're right. I'll probably delete most of what you say.
No, you're gonna delete most of what you say because it's nonsense.
Oh, got him.
Boom. Anyways, Texans, give me the shootout. Their offense is literally throw the ball 40 times a game because, surprise, surprise, CJ Stroud is a stud. Anytime you give me a puncher's chance, I'm taking him. I don't care that he's facing the Browns. Whatever. I get it. Oh, defense. What? Listen, D'Amico Ryans.
Flacco. I'm sorry.
Ken, I'm assuming you're chanting for your underdog pick in the AFC.
Give me the Cleveland Browns. Oh man, I shouldn't even say it on this podcast. But
just guaranteed an L in the first round.
No, I'm not picking them in the first round. I'm picking them in the Super Bowl. Wild card.
Just like Anthony has the Ravens and
who is more underdogs than the Lions? I mean, technically based off seeding, but good lord.
Who determines what an underdog really is? Give me the dang Ravens.
Ravens ain't getting by the Browns.
No, I mean, I wanna take the Browns as my underdog for sure out of the AFC.
Okay. Well, this sucks because there is no way I am touching the Dolphins in cold weather, the Steelers without TJ Watt, and I already have the Chiefs. And Connor, listen, I think the Texans are one of the most overrated teams going into the playoffs right now. And it's not because I don't think CJ Stroud is a stud. It's because I think everyone else thinks CJ Stroud is freaking Patrick Mahomes right now. And as a rookie, he could beat the Browns.
Phil?
Because the
Just
Browns
make
can
your
beat
pick,
themselves.
Phil. Just make your pick.
It's the Browns, okay?
Bill?
I want to make fun of the Texans because Connor picked them.
Philip.
All right, let's do this. Go.
Are you going to give me any stats that back that up? Because I'm pretty sure the stats back up what I said and not.
Oh, okay. So Baker Mayfield had a better rookie season than C.J. Stroud.
No, stop. No.
Yep.
In terms of
statistically speaking, you said just on the stats
wins and losses
and just on the stats, huh?
What? Not excluding wins and losses. Give me the stats.
No. Statistically, he had more touchdowns, similar passes attempted, better PFF grade, higher quarterback rating.
PFF. Don't give me that. Do not give me that.
I like PFF. I don't like it all the time, but I like PFF.
Man, selective.
When it agrees with my argument, yes.
No, it's good. It's good if it like. It's a good tester.
Bryce Young had a better rookie season than C.J. Stroud. Would you believe that?
So, anyways, I think C.J. Stroud's awesome. He's probably my 7th or 8th franchise QB. I'd have to actually make a list. I know he's outside the top 5 though. Moving on.
Can't wait.
Connor, who's your NFC pick?
The Texans again.
This is for like the fun
wild card.
Right? Like,
wild.
Yeah.
Rams. You can do Eagles or further.
Rams. Stafford, light them up. Let's go. Sean McVay.
Cooper Kupp. Puka Nacua.
Stafford, let it rip. Puka Pikachu Nacua is going to ball.
I was surprised
Anthony?
he played last week. I'm taking the Rams too. Nacua, give me.
I love Anthony's strategy. He's guaranteed to at least get one win out of his picks.
Give me Nacua. Cooper Kupp, even though he stunk all season.
You know they're playing the Lions, right?
Yeah, I know. I can't lose. It's a win-win. I mean,
listen,
one way is
underdog.
Listen, I don't know if you know this, Ken, but this is a betting podcast. We are talking about hedging right here.
The Buccaneers, I would take them, but they're terrible. They play in a bad division with Arthur Smith and Jameis, who is just running in touchdowns at the end of the season on a fake knee. And the Packers, I like Jordan Love. I'm actually like a weird, I want Jordan Love to succeed guy. But they're in there a little early. They got in because the NFC has a lot of bad teams. I'm taking the Rams. The defense, if Aaron Donald can get 10 sacks a game, they're winning the Super Bowl.
All right, Ken, what do you have? Who's your underdog?
You know what? I hate to do this, but it is also the Rams, man. I
thought you were going to say Lions. I would have laughed.
No, the truth is, like, I'm sorry, those Bays, Tampa Bay, Green Bay, I like those teams, like, personally, but they don't have a chance. The Eagles at plus 750, I'm not a betting podcast, man, but the plus 750 for Philadelphia isn't that bad. They do have talent there, but the Rams, between Cooper Kupp was hurt and he came back, Kyron Williams was hurt, they came back at the end of the year. I mean, Matt Stafford is clicking. Their defense, from having no talent really, has really came onto the scene. They've had some people step up. I mean, that team is dangerous. I don't think anybody wants to play them. So, I really like the Lions, but unfortunately I have the Lions with the first round exit. I'm going, it might be fun to watch the Rams make a little run here.
All right. So can I pick the Lions as my team? Just go contrary to everyone.
Oh yeah.
Do whatever you want. This is your
All
right. So listen.
Dude, he's going to pick the Rams. He's going to pick the Rams.
No, I got. All right. So first of all, I love the Rams. Matt Stafford, I think, is currently the second best player in the NFL. Him and Lamar Jackson are playing the best 2 level of football. And that's just based on the last 5 games. Like, at the moment, they are playing the best. I still want Mahomes over both of them. Anyways, I want the Lions, and this is all because everyone else is on the Rams. Everyone everywhere you look, is taking the Rams. You know what that means? They're not going to do it. And we already saw the Lions beat the Cowboys.
Wait a minute.
Huh.
Is this the hot hand theory? Everyone goes this way, so that means I gotta go this way?
How is that hot hand
Listen,
theory?
It's it's like inverse of hot hand. So it's like,
no,
hey,
this is
everyone's doing this over here and picking this and making all of these shots. Eventually, they're gonna miss. So this is the inverse hot hand theory.
So we'll go with it. If it works for you, sure. But 10,000%, I am just fading the world because listen, the Rams and the Cowboys are the two sexy picks in the NFC. That's the Lions' first two games. Look at that. It's gonna be great.
Doing the literal opposite of the hot hand theory. If
Connor, 100% chance if we all didn't pick the Rams, Phil would have picked the Rams.
Side note.
Well, no, Eagles would have been my pick.
Side note, Eagles are funny because now all of that stuff is like Step Brothers, where you wear suits into an interview, and like that's Nick Sirianni, and everyone just deals with it until things go poorly, and then all of a sudden the suits are really like effed up because everybody hates Nick Sirianni, and you're like, yeah, I really actually didn't like you that much, and I didn't really like your suits, but you kept winning. Now you're not winning anymore, and so we don't like you anymore.
So I could see the Eagles being a team that unites as like a players front and gets their head coach fired if they won the Super Bowl. Like I could see this being like their players are so good that I think they could actually carry them to a Super Bowl in terms of talent, and that they're just like, yeah, we stopped listening to the coach. Nick Sirianni's an idiot. Get him out of here. We need someone else leading the charge. Jason Kelce retires, becomes head coach immediately. Boom.
You do know they're 1-5.
Phil, do you listen to what you're saying?
Not all the time.
They're 1-6 in their last 5.
They're
yeah, I am inverse hot hand theory, Connor. If the Bills have won 5 straight, they're gonna lose soon, and the Eagles have they can go on a run anytime. 3 or 4 in a row is all you need.
We need to get that trending.
They can't lose
inverse hot hand.
They can't lose 5 straight in the playoffs.
True.
All right, so let's run through our weird scenario Super Bowl winners. Connor, do you have Texans versus Rams? Who's taking that?
Ooh. Rams.
All right, Ken?
Browns, Ken, Rams, we're going Rams.
Yeah. Anthony?
Who's even my pick in the AFC? I don't even remember.
Browns, Rams. That's the exact same.
Browns all day. Screw the Rams. How they even
all right, so you...
They're losing to the Lions.
It's the Lions.
All right.
They somehow found their way in. The other team.
You know what? I wanted to pick the Browns, but Anthony really hyped up the Lions in his favorite segment, so I'm going to pick the Lions to win the Super Bowl here.
Man, that's good stuff.
That's entertainment, Connor. That's what people want to see.
You're learning.
All right, let's move on then to
Lions, baby.
I definitely just hit stop recording instead of stop sharing, so I'm going to have to piece these things together.
I was like, wait, why did we stop? We're on a roll.
Phil, that was great. What's wrong?
No, it's good. Yeah, so don't worry. I'll just have to Band-Aid these, which really sucks for me because I'm an idiot. Anyways, moving on. So now we have our wild card weekend picks, actually. Man, we've been talking way too much, but we'll fly through these, right? Yeah, this is recording. I don't know if we're live on streaming.
We're not doing a crazy amount of picks. Here, let me run through mine.
It's 6. Everyone makes a pick on every game. Cleveland versus Houston, the first
picks?
game.
I'm only doing 3.
You pick for every game. Pick for every game. I got Cleveland, obviously, because they're my sleeper pick. Connor, I'm assuming you have Houston.
I'm taking
I don't want to jinx anyone. I'm going over, man.
Wait, over? In a battle with elite defense?
What do you mean? I'm talking about Joe Flacco turnovers. I'm talking about amazing defense. Myles Garrett probably getting 2 touchdowns. Yeah, we're getting over here.
If I'm a betting man, I'm not picking anything in this game.
It's because you want to bet the Browns.
Well, we're not a betting podcast. Just pick something.
We're not. All right, so I'll take the over then. But let me just say, when the Lions were at like 38, like 41, 40 for these Browns games, and Joe Flacco got here, the overs were hitting. So if I'm a betting man, take the over. Everything else, I wouldn't touch. I don't even want to touch the over. But I'm being gun against my head.
You have to make a pick.
So over.
Yes.
I'm taking the over.
All right, there's no actual gun against his head, listeners.
Also, we're not a betting podcast, but we're scoring over 20 in the first half. Joe Flacco will score.
I think we're coming out like we did against the Jets, huh?
All right, Miami versus Kansas City. We haven't talked about this too much besides Miami sucking. All right, Connor, you have KC -4. Anything you want to put on? The only reason we did clip for Cleveland, Houston is because we covered those teams extensively already.
It's gonna be hilarious watching Tua attempt to throw the ball. I just think he's gonna be throwing a old Chase Claypool out there, thinking he's actually good at football. Chase Claypool, yeah.
Tyreek Hill revenge game.
I do agree. Yeah, under.
I don't know. I mean, I just don't see it. I think that defenses have been putting together at least some semblance of slowing him down. I saw a bunch of threads here. Now, this is all baloney. He does have some questionable drops. I have never said Tyreek Hill has unbelievable hands. He's a body catcher a lot, but he's got some ugly drops.
All right. So I can hear the baby crying, which means we probably should have just ended when I accidentally hit stop previously.
That's
so
right.
We got to kind of go speed mode. Anthony, Kansas City -4. Anything to add?
Yeah. The Dolphins stink. Tua's going to overthrow a bunch of picks.
How can Tua overthrow in the cold? It's impossible. His arm won't work.
And he won't throw, and they're going to run it with A-Chain, who stinks too.
All right. I got under in this one. Ken, I don't know if you said under, right?
I'm going Kansas City and the under.
So you're thinking 20-3 here.
So I think that without Mostert and probably a hobbled Waddle, that team just slows down in the freezing everything. And I think that the Chiefs are really happy to win a 20-7 game. So I think it's going to be a slow game.
All right. So next up, Pitt versus Buffalo. I got Buff -10 because the Steelers aren't a real team without TJ Watt. Oh, I got to go. Sorry, guys.
All right. Buffalo -10. Totally agree.
Pittsburgh +10 because I think I don't know what the weather is going to be like, but if the weather's bad, I could see the under hitting. I think
I'm
it's
actually
in Buffalo.
not going to touch the line on that one because
10's ridiculous.
10's ridiculous in a playoff game, and it's Mike Tomlin. But
can't count him out.
Take over because I do think that there is going to be a lot of turnover. I think Allen's going to turn it over in his own red zone. Mason Rudolph is going to get a couple of cheapies, but I think it's going to be hero ball in the second half. So I think 36.5 is pretty light.
Yeah, without TJ Watt, the line of being at 36.5 is kind of weird.
Without TJ Watt.
Yeah, I think the factor is the weather. I think it's supposed to be really crappy in Buffalo, and we saw what happened in that Steelers game Saturday night where they were just running the crap out of the ball. I think it comes to that. And it might be a snow game. It might be a really fun snow playoff game because I think it's supposed to drop down. We live in Cleveland. The weather's supposed to drop down to the 20s over the weekend, so it might snow like crazy.
Yeah, I mean, this is really either an over or a no bet for me. It depends on what Buffalo is going to do. Do you think that they're going to put the ball in Josh Allen's hands where you're going to see some turnovers? I think that Pittsburgh, regardless, is going to turn the ball over. But, how many cheap scores are you looking at? So weather permitting, if it's not that snow game, because people were saying, hey guys, guess what? It's Tuesday. You can't figure out what the weather's going to look like in Buffalo, for the weekend. So I take a look at it, but if it's clearing up, I would go the over.
Yeah, I'm not placing any bets until I know what the weather's like.
Well, that's stupid. So
Green
have some conviction, Tony.
Green Bay, Dallas. What do we like there? I like Dallas -7.5. I think Green Bay stinks. They don't have any good receivers, and all they have is Aaron Jones. Jordan Love looks better, but he can only throw a slant.
We have such an opposite take on the Green Bay Packers.
Dude,
Connor, you go first.
I am with Connor. Green Bay all the way, man. Jordan Love, is playing better football than I ever thought he could.
He looks better, I agree, but he has bad receivers.
He does not have bad receivers.
Name me one good one.
He has
Jaden Reed.
He has great.
Jaden Reed's a man.
He's actually the best out of all of them, and he's okay. He's
He has
not
great
an
young receivers.
He's not a wide receiver one. Christian Watson is a fraud. Romeo Doubs is a dud. He drops the ball too much.
Jaden Reed has been a stud. They found Dontavian Wicks, who's been pretty good.
Honestly,
and
Aaron Jones has come to life, man.
Yeah, but who are you gonna rely on if the game's on the line and you need somebody to score? Who are you gonna throw to?
Aaron Jones.
That's it. And they're gonna
Jaden Reed.
Jaden Reed's been good.
That's it. But you can cover those guys. Leave everyone else open. Leave Romeo.
All right. So, but the whole point is it's Dallas minus 7.5. Like that is
Dallas
a lot
is the
of
better
points.
team. CeeDee Lamb's been an animal. Dallas has been destroying everybody they've been playing.
I really do like the over in this one because Jordan Love, the way he throws is, has a little bit of gunslinger in him. He's gonna throw picks. I think he's gonna. Dallas, they might go up a lot. I think that Jordan Love can at least score some junk time touchdowns. But I just think that between turnovers and some pretty high octane offenses, I think that there's going to be a good
Tony,
amount of scoring in this game.
Do you watch the NFL or do you just like look at numbers and look at fantasy plays?
I watch games a lot, and I've the one team I don't watch that much is the Packers because they're boring. This high octane offense, I don't know where you guys are getting that from.
Look at how much Jordan Love passes for like over 300 yards a game. Like they move the ball. He also throws picks. Like
just so you know, in fantasy,
there's a lot of stuff going on. Not always good for Green Bay, but there's a lot of stuff.
From week 10 on,
he was really good.
QB like 2.
Yeah, he was really good.
Yeah, and he also throws picks.
They don't.
Great.
They have to play against Dallas's defense, who's much better than anybody else in that division. The Lions defense sucks. The Bears defense is okay. The Vikings defense sucks. I mean, they don't play anybody tough in that division.
Yeah, the thing is, the Cowboys are overrated because I think the Cowboys suck and always will.
I think the Cowboys are overrated too, but they're playing an even more overrated crap team. Jordan Love is good. I think for the future he's going to be good. But right now, in terms of they got to the playoffs somehow, they're here a little bit early. As much as I want them to somehow win it all and go to the Super Bowl, to be like, oh, Aaron Rodgers was the problem because I hate Aaron Rodgers, I don't see it happening. I just don't see them even covering 7.5 against Dallas. I think they're going to lose by like 10, maybe 14.
So for this game, us 5, we have Green Bay with the points, then Dallas giving up the points, and then the over, and then the under. I love it.
This is a contentious game, but I want to let you know, Connor and I are right. Moving on, Rams versus Detroit. And listen, I said it earlier, everyone's on the Rams, and when the world turns its back on you, you turn your back on the world. That's from The Lion King. Detroit -3 all the way. I'm feeling it, man. They're gonna shock the nation.
Dude, you're sounding silly right now. Rams +3.
I took the under in that game because I just 51.5 super high. Don't see it happen.
All right, so we're gonna have a whole bunch of picks that are against each other. We're gonna find out here, Tony. We're gonna find out.
We're gonna see who knows what.
I just think it's a super high over for. I mean, that one, if there was going to be an over, that's probably going to hit it. But I took the under because
awesome, guys. 4 picks, every possible pick. Awesome.
That's exciting. All right, and last up, Monday Night Football. I think Eagles versus the Buccaneers. Connor, you got Tampa. Why are you going with Tampa?
Dude, I just said it. They're 1-5, and they hate Nick Sirianni. Okay. I don't think they're going to be able to turn it off and turn it on.
So I'm going with the Eagles, and that's because the opposing quarterback is Baker Mayfield. And the thing is,
to get a second contract in Tampa. Watch out.
He can absolutely get that second contract, but you know what? That is not a good idea. Yeah. That's like signing on to Geno Smith, signing on to Daniel Jones. People make mistakes all the time.
He'll be getting that second contract. What he won't be getting is a second playoff game.
Fly, Eagles, fly.
Yeah, when Mike Evans isn't there, it's going to be a big problem.
Wait, is Mike Evans not there?
He, no, next year.
Oh,
the whole contract thing.
Oh, I was going to say, if that's it, then this line is way off.
All right, so Ken, you're on the Eagles. Anthony, you're on the Eagles too. Anything else to add besides Baker Mayfield sucks?
Fly, Eagles, fly.
The Eagles are a much more talented team. End of story.
They'll somehow find a way to win this one, right?
That's the thought. Hey, they played this game previously, and the Eagles dominated that game from start to finish.
True.
Dude, the Eagles got a bye round as a wild card team. That's a huge win for them.
I need
Connor.
to go eat dinner. Right now.
Cool. We all got to go then. Look at that. Thank you guys for listening. I hope the NFL goes well for your team, I guess. Yeah. I don't know.
If you guys have 3 hours to listen to this, yeah.
If you're betting against me, screw you. If you're betting with me, hell yeah.
Chop this up, Phil.
This is gonna be bad.
Guys,
this is gonna be rough for me.
We've never been this far off on picks.